Right, so sanding finished. All that's good. I've actually used the Festool sander because it's got different settings. I've just put it on a gentle setting, and rather than do it by hand, I've managed to just tailor all my nosings. So I've fit the nosings into the string, so I'm happy that they're a reasonable fit. Okay, I've done that by just sanding these radiuses to match, and then I've numbered each step. I've put a face side mark on the top so I can tell which way round they go. I've numbered them so I know where they're for, because they're tailored to each nosing, although they should all be the same. And then all I've done, I've put the strings back to back, take that one out of there and fit the other side into that nosing. This end goes into that nosing. I want a bit of tickling. And that end will go into there. Now, while it's facing that way, you can see that the next stage before final assembly is I need a groove in the bottom of that nosing 15mm back to receive my plywood. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to mark them individually. So all I'm going to do is mark out where the rise, the front face of the riser, hits the underneath of that tread. Now obviously I couldn't do that before I'm happy with that nosing, because that tread will change shape. So as soon as that's in place there, I can put a mark on the bottom edge of that on each one. So do that one and that one. Turn them over, do the other sides. Hopefully they should be parallel lines if everything's equal. And then we'll just put a groove in there. This ply is, I've actually measured it, it measures 5mm. It's sometimes 4mm or 6mm, whatever it is. We'll try and find a cutter to match that, and we'll just set that in. That's 18mm, so if I set them in about 5mm, that'll be fine. Okay, and then we can figure out where the bottom is. So next thing, set up the router for your groove. I've got 3 treads here with the groove marked on, but basically if everything's as it should be, the grooves for all your treads should be in the same place. So all I've done with that, I've transferred the mark of one of the lines onto the end. I can then hold that onto the cutter. I can adjust the height of the cutter with this trend router table by using this spanner. That goes in there and connects with the router that's upside down bolted to the table underneath. Turn that clockwise or anti-clockwise and that'll adjust the height. Okay, this is turned on at the moment, so I'm not going to mess with that cutter. I've moved both of the fences in as far as is reasonably practical, just to reduce that depth and reduce risk. Okay, we're going to set this comb guide so that I'll move that fairly close to the front of the cutter. I'll just put a bit of pressure on that and tighten these up, and that will make sure that that is right into the cutter, nice and safe, can't come out. This guard can't come right over the top, but it's got a comb guard on again, and it'll just lean on there. That's okay, because once that timber goes over that cutter, the cutter's covered up. The only other thing to think about is extraction. The extraction is coupled up. It's not that fantastic, this, but it does work. And we've got a push stick. I'll maybe get a second push stick, just in case I want to hold that and push that. The idea with the push stick is that it has a bird's mouth in the bottom end of it, okay? And that bird's mouth should locate onto the timber like so. That's what it's for. The push stick is a certain length, so there's no point getting a push stick that requires your hand to be at least 300mm from the cutter and holding the push stick down there and putting yourself at risk. The handle's at the back for a reason, and you can tell that bit's the handle because it's got a grip on it. So hold the handle right at the back and you're nice and safe. 300mm away from the blade. That one's the same. If anything does happen, you're well away. Your fingers are out of harm's way. The only other thing to think about is the noise. It's well above 85 decibels is this machine, especially when there's other stuff going on at the same time. So I've got my ear defenders here ready, and we'll put them on now. Okay, so there's the groove. I'm going to try that in the spring. That's nice. All we're really looking for there is that plywood, when I push it at the back, is it right up to that shoulder. So when the wedge comes in, that'll push it up, that's fine. Okay, and then the last one, number one, will go there. And that looks fine. I'm happy with that. Okay. You'll quite often find out that when you route it with a stair jig, a slight anomaly is that you get this radius just underneath the nosing and on the top of the riser. And that can be unsightly if you've got a really nice polished staircase, an oak staircase. You wouldn't want to see that. So a really easy little quick way of covering that up, or getting rid of that problem, is just to put a very small mould underneath there that covers that. But obviously on a traditional staircase, this nosing is probably going to be more like 25mm protruding out there. It's going to be another 10mm, so you've plenty of space there for a nice little mould, and it gives it a lovely feature as well. It does two jobs for the price of one. Okay, so the next thing to do is just make sure all the treads are the right length, matching up at the back, and make sure my risers are the right length. Now, you can see that the riser goes into a groove in the tread. So what happens at the bottom of the riser? Well, the tread flies past, the tread gets cut to length, and then the riser fixes to the back of that. So I just need to trim these treads now. They were oversized so that I could fit them into there and just get them nice and cozy. If they would have been the right size, once I'd sanded those in, they'd have been undersized. So we've allowed for that. So again, what I'll do with that, same as before, I can actually mark them off my tread. I can put a pencil mark there where the back of the tread should be, where the riser flies through. I'll mark those now with a pencil. We'll trim those down, we'll trim the risers, and then we'll see how we get on from there.